There we go. The technical difficulties are over and Nerds4Life can kick off for its first ever episode on Sin Nation. Now, for those who don't know what Nerds4Life is, we're an Australian-based news publication that reports on all anime, video gaming content, Marvel, DC, all of that cool pop culture stuff that, well, you guys love, obviously, because you're tuning in to Nerds4Life. Now, by the way, that's Nerds4Life. That's Nerds, the number 4, and Life, not Nerds, the word for and life. That's someone completely different and not affiliated with us at all. Now, we're going to kick off the show with My Hero Academia, but before we hit with Season 3 of My Hero Academia and, you know, everything that's going on in that sphere, we're also going to have some Avengers talks because I think the movie comes out next week and I'm really pumped for that film. It is the 4th Avengers movie, and it's the 3rd Avengers movie, and I genuinely can't wait. I've been waiting so long to see so many superheroes in one place, and, well, I'm going to be honest, I was kind of disappointed with the Justice League movie, so this really needs to fill that void that movie left me. Anyway, after that, we got some Dragon Ball talk. The new Dragon Ball Legends game has revealed some interesting stuff, as well as, you know, what can we expect when Dragon Ball Super returns? We've got some One Piece World Seeker news and some Naruto news as well. The Boruto episode comes out this week, and tonight. And we've also got, well, the Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker has actually revealed something for the first time in months. Now, that game is going to be released later on this year. So, big news coming up. For now, we're going to kick it off with some My Hero Academia. I keep my ideals with nothing makes That was the My Hero Academia Season 3 intro. Now, joining me in the studio, over the phone, is Hayley McKay, writer at Nerds4Life. How are you, Hayley?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you, Pete?
Yeah, not bad. Did that intro get you a little excited like it did me?
yeah, just a little. Huge fan of My Hero Academia. It's probably one of my favorite mangas that are being produced at the moment. So,
Well, have you had a chance to take a look at Season 3? I've watched both episodes, by the way.
Yeah. I've taken I've already caught up with the manga ages ago, but I've taken a chance to watch Season 3, and it's been pretty solid so far. Certainly something I love about this series is that it's almost a one-for-one translation of the manga to anime, which is fantastic to watch, because all those fights are spectacular, and it's great to see them all animated.
Well, what I've noticed is, in comparison to the manga and the anime, I've read and watched both, is the fact that it doesn't sway too far away from the manga, as you said, and we don't get, 200 episodes of filler. For instance, that transition from, Naruto to Naruto Shippuden, there was about 100 episodes of filler there. We don't get that in My Hero Academia.
No, we don't. We get, concise stories that, arcs that take only 12 episodes each, and there's enough time between seasons that, Hirokoshi-san can, get as much, out there as possible so that he's well and truly ahead, which is great to see, because I think that's one of the problems with the Naruto series and like One Piece and stuff at times. It's like, we're caught up to the manga, now we've got to, bullshit our way through this. How are we going to do this?
At least Naruto's wasn't too bad. I mean, there was some filler that were horrible, like all those ones with that ninja ostrich, and then there was the ones with that Mecha Naruto one. Man, that one was bad.
Mecha Naruto.
Boruto. 90% of the series has been filler. But I have to admit, there was some good filler, like the one where they were trying to get Kakashi's mask off. I think there was 3 or 4 episodes of that throughout the series. I actually really enjoyed that.
Yeah. I mean, it's always hit and miss with filler, because it's like, how can we best capture the series? And sometimes they do really well, and then sometimes they do fucking horribly. Ninja ostrich, and there's a bunch of stuff in Bleach that's just absolute garbage.
Don't even get me started on Bleach. Don't even get me
Yeah.
started.
But yeah, I'll be certainly excited for the next few episodes of Hero Acca when they come out, because we're going to finally see, post-Stain villain society, where these new ideology villains come through with like Darby and the rest, just come through and really steamroll our heroes and put them really up to the test.
Well, are they?
Which is.
Are they really villains? Think about it.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
they're more
that's the
anti-heroes,
question.
aren't they?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would say their leader, I keep forgetting his name. I keep referring to him as Bad Touch Man.
Yeah, the guy with the hand on his face.
Yeah, the guy with the hands all over him. He's certainly like a major villain.
Oh,
And, All For One is certainly a major villain. But, like, characters like Darby, sometimes they cross that line of anti-hero, definitely. That they want to make these heroes better people. And they want their society to be better in a case. But I guess most of the time their actions do cross into the downright villainous. Especially with this current arc that's coming up in the anime, where it's where they're going to kidnap somebody. I won't spoil too much in case some of our listeners haven't read the manga. It's certainly going to be an interesting watch.
Yeah, well, we'll keep it to the anime for now. I do have a couple of questions now. You watched for you. I watched episode 2 of season 3, and the first thing that I instantly noticed was the fact that the quirks of the young kids have really diminished, to the point where we've seen improvement in their teamwork. We've seen improvement in the way they use their quirks, their stamina. We've seen significant improvement from them, but the strength of their quirks have really diminished. That's probably a little surprising for people that haven't read the manga and they're just watching the anime. This training camp, it's designed to bring out the best in these young students. How much improvement are we expected to see? Well,
they're gonna really put them through their paces here with this coming up episode, especially. We'll see. I think we saw Todoroki trying to use his ice quirks while in boiling water. We're going to see like a couple other characters be put in positions where they have to use their quirks in really unfriendly circumstances, I suppose. And so it's really going to hopefully help improve their quirks exponentially. But you are right; they have really diminished in terms of power with their quirks. I think that's possibly to do with the fact that they've been more relying on each other, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But before this, they were all kind of like fairly self-sufficient, except for Deku. But they were all fairly self-sufficient and we can do this on our own, and kind of thing. And now it's like, oh well, we're a team. We're all like one big class, one big family. Let's all lean on each other, and it damage their quirk abilities a little bit. But this training camp will definitely get them up to speed, as we've seen in the previews for episode 3.
Okay, so, that's a good thing. I mean, the upcoming episode does look pretty good. Also, the League of Villains are finally going to make their move. The game begins, apparently. So I'm kind of curious to see how much of an impact they will make in the upcoming episode. We don't know exactly.
Most likely we'll see them come in at the end, similar to thing. Because from what I believe, we've got that whole quirk training thing, and Class 2 comes in at some point, like Class 1B comes in at some point, and they'll have we've got to get introduced to the rest of the Pussycats, and we get to do the whole Coda thing as well. So most likely they'll come in towards the end, and then it'll set up the whole kind of evil makes its move kind of thing.
Of course, it does seem a bit early on to just introduce them as here they attack. Now, before we head off and we change subjects and continue with the show, the Avengers. Now, they come out next week, the film, and My Hero Academia came out last week for the first time. Did you notice a little bit of a poster similarity? I put it up on our Twitter and Facebook page. Did you check it out?
Yeah, I did, and that's certainly no mistake.
Of course not.
Yeah, Horikoshi is a huge I believe the internet colloquialism is Westaboo, but he's a huge fan of like Western comics and you know, Spider-Man, Superman, etc., etc. I mean, you just have to look at All Might to see that he's, you know, a giant Superman kind of style character. So like seeing a My Hero Academia poster that's, you know, a one-for-one thing with Marvel is no, there's certainly no mistake. He's done that on purpose.
Of course.
Like I imagine he's probably like personally like requested this, like, I want this poster, I want it to look like this. And I'm, you know, it's got to happen.
Well, later today, I actually stumbled upon earlier today, I stumbled upon one that looked very much like Spider-Man. It was in the intro of the My Hero Academia, you know, the opener. Yeah, it was. There was a scene that looked very much like a Spider-Man comic, and I'll be posting it on Nerds4Life later today. So make sure to check that out.
Yeah, will do.
Awesome. Now we're going to move on to some Dragon Ball stuff. Thank you, Haley, for coming in and talking all.
No problem. No problem. All right, thank you so much.
So for those who don't know, that's the Dragon Ball Z theme song. It's the original one that came out in 1989. And personally, it's my favorite one. Even though Wrath of the Dragon is most Western countries' favorite Dragon Ball Z opener, that one still touches the heartstrings for me. Personally, because that's the one that I watched when I was a kid growing up with Dragon Ball Z on Cheese TV. Now, speaking of Dragon Ball Z, the Dragon Ball Super series did come to an end roughly a month ago after episode 131 of Dragon Ball Super. We saw the Tournament of Power end. We saw Jiren actually get taken down by a really, really interesting combo. The combo of Frieza and Goku. Now, that was fantastic to see. We saw Frieza. He wasn't in his golden form. He was in his traditional Dragon Ball Z final form. And Goku, he wasn't in his Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, Ultra Instinct, false Ultra Instinct. He wasn't in any of that. He was in his regular Super Saiyan form. And just to see those two fighting side by side, it was just strange. It was just very strange, but it was great to see at the same time. I guarantee you many Dragon Ball Z, loving Dragon Ball Z fans, you know, loved to see that moment. Now, after the Tournament of Power ended, we saw Android 17 resurrect all the other universes that were destroyed by Xeno. And we also saw that Frieza is not going to end his evil ways, which is great because it would have killed me to see when Dragon Ball Super returns, suddenly Frieza's good. Just like Vegeta, Tien, Piccolo, Krillin, Bulma, Yamcha. Actually, pretty much every single one of Goku's friends has tried to kill him at some point. Literally, the first thing that Bulma did was shoot him in the face, and that was in the opening scenes of Dragon Ball. So, Goku hasn't had too much luck with friends, but I don't think Frieza will ever be one of those sort of characters to join in those Z-Fighter ranks. That means when Dragon Ball Super returns, I strongly suggest that Frieza is going to make another attack on, well, you know, the Universe 7 Warriors. He's going to train again. 3 months in, he was able to surpass Super Saiyan God and essentially surpass Super Saiyan God's Super Saiyan with 3 months training. The guy was dead for like 10 years. Now imagine when he has, I don't know, a little bit more training. And by the way, he's not going to make the same mistake again. What he did with when he awakened his golden form was he came in underprepared. He had just awakened this form, and suddenly he tries to battle out Goku and Vegeta that spent the last 10 years training. It was a dumb move on his part. And the next time he attacks, he's going to be stronger, better than ever, and he's not going to be underprepared. So it's going to be great to see. Personally, I think that we'll be seeing Cooler's form become canon in the Dragon Ball Super universe. Now, I know Cooler, yes, his transformation isn't all that powerful, but remember, a transformation is pretty much just a boost to your base level. So Frieza's base level is actually quite significantly stronger than what Cooler's was in that movie, or the two movies. So when Frieza tries to unlock that form, he'll be ridiculously powerful. And you know what? It's going to be great if you can mix it with his golden form as well. So we could see a golden version of Cooler's transformation. Now, Why do I think that will be introduced? Well, Akira Toriyama throughout the Dragon Ball Super universe has made a lot of non-canon things from the films, or just feel like canon. For example, the largest one is the legendary Super Saiyan transformation, which we've seen highlighted in the preview for the Dragon Ball Super movie, and we've also seen it through Universe 6's Kale. So for me, I personally think this transformation could become canon through a canon character. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that we can't see it from Frost from Universe 6. We might see it from him as well. But personally, I think it'll be Frieza when eventually he'll attack the Universe 7 warriors again. Now, we'll move away from Dragon Ball Super because, there's a lot of speculation of what could happen next. I mean, obviously, there's other universes are going to be resurrected as well because, there's the theory that the other 8 universes that were erased by... 6 universes that were erased by Xeno, thousands of years before the Tournament of Power began, could have also been resurrected because Android 17 asked for all universes destroyed by Xeno-sama to be resurrected. So we could be seeing some ancient universes as well. But there's a new Dragon Ball Legends game coming out, and it's coming out in end of the year. It's coming out roughly at the end of the year, and it's done by Bandai, who are the creators of Dragon Ball FighterZ and the Dragon Ball Xenoverse video games as well. Now, the Dragon Ball Legends game is a mobile-only video game. Now, I know that most fans probably aren't too keen on Dragon Ball mobile games, but this one has a special twist to it. It's actually a direct continuation from the Dragon Ball Super series. Akira Toriyama himself has worked on it and has even created, drawn and designed the new Dragon Ball Saiyan villain called Shallot. Now, that means he's a canon character because he was designed by Akira Toriyama himself. Also, this is the first video game that we have seen which is a direct continuation from a Dragon Ball series. Now, that means that, yes, technically this game is canon. So this will probably be the first canon video game we've ever seen. This is a must-play for all Dragon Ball fans. You can't call yourself a Dragon Ball fan and not play this game. It's a canon video game. In addition, this canon video game potentially has the new villain in the upcoming Dragon Ball Super movie. Now, we've only seen a sneak peek of that villain. We haven't even seen his full body. We've just seen his arm, his torso, and part of his eye. So we don't really know what he looks like. But he looks very similar to the Shallot character introduced in Dragon Ball Legends. By the way, both the teaser for the trailer of Dragon Ball Super movie and the new video game were released at roughly the same time, and Akira Toriyama is working on both of them. Now, is that really a coincidence? Probably not. Honestly, I personally believe they're the same character and that we will see Shallot in the Dragon Ball Super movie, but again, that needs to be confirmed later on. Now, that's enough Dragon Ball Super talk for one day. I mean, I could ramble on for a lot longer, trust me. But we're going to head off to some Naruto news, and we've got a special guest joining us as well. We are fighting dreamers. Thank you, my friend. Hey, Tony. Tony is a news writer at Nerds4Life, and he's also a writer for Twyfonite. Did I pronounce?
Yep, Twinfinite. That's it.
Yeah,
good branding there.
Look, it's a very hard name to read. Okay, so please don't judge me. How are you today, mate?
Oh, tuckered out, but getting there.
Of course. Now, have you heard of the new Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker game? I really hope you have because I asked you to read up on it.
Yep. I am a consummate professional, so yes.
Professional isn't the word I'd use, but you're good.
I'll put that on a resume.
All right, so now the Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker game is believed to be released in December this year. We haven't heard too much about it, but it's the latest Naruto video game, and it comes with one amazing special feature. Now, we have never seen this in any of the Naruto games beforehand, and that is the ability to customize your characters. It's the first time we've ever seen it, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
And basically what makes this game so fantastic is, I don't know about you, but I know that you're pretty good when it comes to wrestling. You do like your wrestling games. Now, how good is it when you can just create your own pro wrestler? You know, make him with, tattoos, weird facial features. You can make him blue sometimes,
Oh, yeah.
It's just great. Now, imagine introducing that to the ninja world.
Yeah, it looks pretty thrilling as far as the customization goes. The only unfortunate thing is that now that means everyone's original characters are going to be effectively canon.
Of course.
Which will lead to a lot of dire fan art.
Well, see, the thing is, it was introduced in the Dragon Ball video games, in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 1 and 2. 2 did it really well, I have to admit. And I'm going to be honest, it was honestly the best video games that I've ever played, anime video games that I've ever played by far. The fact that you're able to not only improve your Saiyan's abilities or your character's abilities, but you're able to just the way they looked, the way they acted, the styles they fought in. It was just great to see, and honestly, I personally can't wait to see that introduced in, the Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker video game. I'm going to buy it purely because of this feature.
Have you had a chance to try the open beta at all, or?
I did, and the gameplay seemed kind of cool. What I liked is that I was able to really, enjoy playing with friends. There's a 4-on-4 team-based gameplay, and personally, I love it. Also, the ninja battle action is great because it's open world, so it's an open world fighting game. I really don't like those two-dimensional Street Fighter-like fighting games, and that's why I don't like Dragon Ball FighterZ. So I do like that open movement in the fighting.
The only concern I have as far as the open world goes is the mechanics at this point seem a little bit shonky at times.
Of course.
Like and look, it's early days. It's allowed to be. But, the running speed's a bit questionable because you don't want everyone, all hunkered down in the one area. Healers are a bit redundant at the moment.
No, I hear you.
It's like real life. I run up the wall, and I often die.
Yeah, I want to run up the wall and not die, That's why we play a video game, isn't it?
Yeah, preferably.
Now, by the way, thank you, Tony, for joining us. He'll be on Nerds4Life, and he'll be talking about some Nintendo news this week, huh?
Oh, I guess.
Yeah, guess.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. Tony is our resident Nintendo expert. Thank you, Tony, for joining us, and you'll be back next week.
Not a problem, man.
Okay, so that's it. That's all we have time for. Make sure to check out the Boruto episode that comes out tonight. By the way, it's Melbourne time, so if you're listening to this in another country, I actually honestly don't know what time it'll be out for you guys. But all I know is that it'll be out tonight for Melbourne fans and Australian fans as well. Make sure to check that out because it's the Boruto movie replay, but we're getting to see some revelations as well. As you know, the Outski members are attacking, and we've got to see a new character as well last week. And Tenario Outski mentioned that he did something to Boruto. We don't know what he did, but we know he did something to tamper with him. I assume it has something to do with his eye, personally. That's all we have time for. Make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, Tumblr, Tinder, all of them. We're on every single form of social media you could possibly think of. We're even on Weeboo. So, honestly, just type in Nerds4Life. That's Nerds, the number 4, Life. And make sure to give us a like. And check out our website at nerds4lifeblog.com. Don't forget the blog at the end of that. I'll be back same time, same place next week. Thank you for listening, guys.